Welcome to the Minx and Muse podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Minx, creatrix of Minx and Muse, a dark feminine playhouse where we awaken our innate magic through esoerotic dance and witchcraft. Welcome to the portal of enchantment. Welcome, Kelley, to the Minx and Muse podcast. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. How are you?
I am doing so well. I'm so looking forward to this conversation. This is a podcast that we have promised a lot of people. For a little backstory for those who are maybe discovering this out of timeline in a future timeline. I just recently announced that I am going to be transitioning out of being the owner of our physical Minx and Muse space in Austin, Texas. But the good news is, and we'll do future episodes on what's coming next, but don't be sad. Don't be sad, because the studio is going to be taken over by a new mistress, a new witch is going to be taking over the physical space and is going to be renaming the physical space, but going to be keeping and nurturing and growing the current essence and offerings. And that person is Kelley. That was pretty obvious. We could have done a little bait and switch and had someone change into your chair, but that would have been unnecessary and a little over the top. So, well, Kelley, so excited to announce you as the new owner of the physical space in Austin, Texas. So, Kelley has been a member. When did you start with us?
I joined in December 2021, so it's been 2.5 years now.
Nice.
Yeah.
That feels like longer. My goodness.
I know.
Yeah. And the thing I can say about you is you have been deeply embedded in the studio and deeply participatory from, retreats and weekends to our online offerings, to our in studio, to our witchy. You are doing a lot more of the dance now. And so you've gotten to see it from all different perspectives. And I just knew that you were going to be such a nurturer and beautiful energy to come in and to hold the energy in what it is, but to really also raise it up to whatever it potentially can be in the future without being like, we're tearing it all down, we're starting all over. Because you and I have talked that we really want this to feel very seamless for members, because all the instructors are staying, we're keeping most of the classes, it's not going to be anything crazy. But all that being said, I'm spending this whole time talking. Shut up, Crimson. Give Kelley a platform. So Kelley, how are you feeling about this? And what intention are you bringing in as the new owner?
Oh my God. I should have brought my emotional support box of tissues. I am feeling just incredibly honored and grateful to even have this opportunity come to me. Like you said, I've been a very embedded member of our community for feels like forever, and it's really become my second home and my safe place. And everyone gets to hear me cry now.
Kelley will cry a lot more than you've ever heard me cry. I am like the least emotional Cancer, and you are a very emotional Libra, and we love you for that because you feel deeply. And that's a beautiful gift.
This community at Minx and Muse has really helped me connect to that part of myself. I mean, before Minx, I never cried.
Really? Is that true?
Yeah.
What?
I was like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I cry about this sad thing? And now I cry about things that make me happy, things that touch me, and so I'm just, I could go on about our community forever. I mean, y'all have really been the foundation of my personal transformation over the past few years, and in some ways literally saved my life. So I have nothing but just endless love and gratitude for Minx, for you, for all of our Coven members and everyone who's come in even just once. It's just such an honor.
Thank you for saying that.
What else was I supposed to talk about?
Oh my goodness. Well, and I just want to put a pause and just say, like, this is why I really feel like you are such an amazing person to step into this role, because you have gone through the transformation that the studio is really intended to hold space for and allow for and to guide people through. And it's one of those things where you can tell people about it, but until you've gone through it yourself, you don't have the true wisdom of what this work means. And to me, we've always talked about how this space is just more than a dance studio or a place to learn witchy wisdoms, how it truly is a community of transformation, and that these works, the work that we do within the walls, are the tools to guide us through. And the fact that you can say, I have transitioned in such a positive way in my life, is one of the reasons why I said, I need someone who truly understands and respects that. And then you'll be able to hold space for other people who are now ready to do that.
Yeah, and I really think I feel like my journey through Minx and Muse has been maybe not the typical one, you know.
Yeah, it's true. Tell us about it.
Well, I mean, in some ways it is probably common. I joined when my marriage was in turmoil, and I was just in the midst of a lot of self-questioning, and I really needed to connect to myself and my body. And I spent probably the first 6 months just doing online classes and just coming to the studio for like somatic alchemy, in which I would probably take a nap 95% of the time. But that was such a gift to be able to come to a place that feels so welcoming and so safe, and feel like I can do whatever I need to do to honor my body and honor myself. And nobody's judging. Everyone is just lifting each other up and encouraging everyone else to do the same thing. So, I can be the example of, like, if you need to just fall asleep, you fall asleep. It's okay.
This class that she's talking about is a mat-based class where it's led by the amazing Tara Valkyrie, who's been on past episodes. But yeah, it's a mat-based class where it's like a somatic processing. And like, I swear sometimes doing that somatic work, that processing, it does put your ass to sleep, or it does just like require complete surrender to just feeling and processing.
Yeah, surrender, that's a key term. I think that's also been important in my transformation and just journey. Like, y'all have watched me from the beginning. I was falling asleep. I was just terrified to move my body. I didn't know how to move my body in a way that wasn't prescribed, or choreographed. And it's been a really challenging time to come to that. A lot of that has been in our classes. And now who would have thought that the Esoerotic ritual is my favorite class ever, where the entire time you're just moving your body, connecting to your sexual energy, and like, it's so powerful. It's become a part of my regular practice, and I feel like kind of the star student in some ways, like, this is what can happen for you, through Minx and Muse. So
you're the pudding. There's proof in the pudding.
Yes, that would be me, the pudding.
I think it's really amazing that you came in not through, a lot of people access us through pole dance. They hear about us as a pole dance studio. Well, Kelley just started pole dancing a month ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
You're loving it, huh?
If you've been in class with me, it is a challenge for me. I mean, I do my best, but I also do sit down in class.
Like, full permission if you're like, okay, my body's had enough,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
but I know we talked after the first class and you were like, this is fun. I did it. You said I could see myself having a pole in my house. Like
It's definitely fun. Yeah.
yeah.
It's I like it because it's something that I can, you know, you have the freedom to kind of like move how you need to move, but there's something to like practice and
Yeah.
get better at, which is fun. And you get to like lean on a pole if you get tired.
Yes. Well, yeah. And this is something I want to talk about because you and I have had the conversation that it is so important. And for those who are like, wait, you're talking, there's still going to be pole, right? Yeah, there's absolutely still going to
Yes.
be pole at the studio. All of our dance classes are remaining. So I want to be really clear on that. And I just think it's really interesting that kind of Kelley found her way in actually through the witchcraft and then through the somatic processing and then through the pole dance and is kind of weaving your way through an atypical way to enter, but that you are seeing the value in the movement. But one thing that you and I have talked about and has always been super important to me is that our dance studio be a haven for people who do not self-identify as traditional dancers in the sense of they have dance training or they have like this fitness background or they have a background in sensual expression. And we always want to be that home for anyone because I truly believe everyone's dancers. Everyone can dance. Like the fact to be like, I'm not a dancer. Yeah, we're all dancers. Let's be like, I'm not a talker. I'm not a walker. I'm not a feeler. You know, I don't express. It's like, no. We all absolutely can dance in our own way. But it's our hope that at the studio, you do feel really empowered to find your unique expression and that the way that we guide you through movement isn't in a way that feels like, oh, this is so hard, I'll never be able to do this, or I have to be under the age of whatever, or I have to have this shape body, or I have to have this background or experience. Like we want to be the space where if you crave sensual expression and dance and movement, you're going to be able to access it and it's going to look different on everyone. And like Kelley said, if you're like, oh, wow, like I need to sit this one out, you sit that one out, it's not that serious.
Yeah, I feel like so much of it is just a permission slip to move your body in whatever way your body needs to move. That's been something really powerful for me as I've been a member over these past couple of years. I have noticed, getting more comfortable with moving my body. And sometimes that means I get to set an example in other scenarios for other people. Like I went on a yoga retreat and we had a little dance party and there was a lot of people who were nervous about just dancing freely. And I got to set an example of just doing that. And it was really powerful and special for me to know how far I'd come because, for the longest time, I was just so scared.
You would have been one of those people scared to dance.
Absolutely. I would have been sitting still.
Yeah. That makes me so proud that you were like the example, you were the energy that they could look towards and give them permission to just freely express. It's so wild to me because I was the same way. Oh my gosh. I remember I know. I totally remember even going, I remember in college, I would very rarely go, dance when we went out places and, through my 20s and going to weddings and stuff. Like, honestly, I had to have some drinks in me to get out on that dance floor. And since I started doing this work, I'm sober out on that dance floor. Like, I don't need to have a drink in me now. Like, I want to go out and dance and move because, oh my gosh, it's freedom and it's so fun. And it makes me so sad. And I think of the older version of me who felt so insecure and so numb and disconnected in my meat suit that the idea of just being witnessed dancing was frightening.
Yeah. Totally relate to that. You're such an inspiration because I would never have thought, and it's really cool that I can see that transformation developing in myself too. And so much of that, all of the instructors on Minx are so good at setting a good example of, and just creating that kind of safe container, and encouraging you to do what your body needs. Don't want to change anything. I also want to reiterate, all of everyone's favorite classes are going to be there, even if they have a slightly different name or whatever. We're not taking anything away. Okay. Like, I love this community. I just want it to keep existing and just grow and flourish. Like, that's it. I'm not here to like change things up or, make big moves in a different direction. So I just want to reassure anyone who's concerned about that, like, that is top priority, because I love it so much and I want it to keep living. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, because I think some people were nervous. They're like, well, what are they taking all the classes away? Is everything going to be different? And actually this is an opportunity for me to speak to this too, is we are changing the name and we are changing the branding and stuff. And I did an Instagram live on this recently, but for those who missed it, one of the biggest reasons why Minx and Muse is coming with me, and the logo's coming with me, is because this logo is a sigil. If those aren't familiar, we have a logo that is like a sigil that is like a serpent, dark goddess Lilith symbolism. And we have at least 11 people that have it tattooed on their bodies. And it felt really imperative that like that was something that now it is my responsibility to maintain the integrity and the sacred meaning within that sigil and that logo. And so it didn't feel good to separate from that. It felt like a huge honor and responsibility. And so, and I'm also keeping our virtual community. So the Minx and Muse multiverse, so I'm keeping that. And so we thought, let's have, when the new owner comes in, they can create their new brand and their new logo. And the last thing I'll share is that Esoeroticism is becoming a licensed, certified offering. So, and Kelley wants to be the first Esoerotic licensed studio. So even,
yes.
so even Esoeroticism is going to be remaining in the space. But so I just wanted to clear that for just logistics. And I am very excited to start offering Esoerotic training so people around the world can use this modality adapted to their own, and even have access to our signature classes to teach themselves. But in the meantime, I think people have been wondering, what's the new name of the studio going to be, Kelley?
All this build up. I hope everyone likes it. I am going to be calling it Verspertine.
Verspertine.
Of the night. Yes.
I'm sorry, what does it mean?
Of the evening, or like occurring in the evening. I feel like that's very fitting for, a studio of dark feminine power, and, the nighttime is when we do most of our work. So I hope that it resonates with people. Vesper, it just means evening, and it's just been a word that I connect with. And I don't know, I went through a lot of name options, and, there's choosing one that sounds cool, and there's choosing one that sounds cool and also isn't already taken. So Verspertine, I hope that y'all like it, and more will be coming from that soon. So
I love it. And I know that you are currently working on a logo to go along with it. And I know you are going to create some majorly amazing swag and merch to go along to the new Verspertine Coven.
Yes. Oh my God. That sounds pretty cool to hear.
Yes, it does. And speaking of Coven, I hope that I'm not like revealing too much here, but to get people excited, we did talk about bringing more witchy to the studio with a weekly, maybe, or regularly scheduled Vespertine Coven class.
Yes, absolutely. Would love to bring more. I mean, those are the witchy classes, are the stuff that got me involved in the studio. They're my favorite. I will attend every single one I possibly can. I always am looking for more on the schedule. So I am delighted. I'm excited to be able to hopefully bring even more of that and have some sort of regular Coven witchy meeting in studio. So yeah,
Yeah.
more to come on that.
Before the pandemic, we had a weekly Minx and Muse Coven class, and it met on Wednesday nights, and I ran it, and it was like a 90-minute sit in circle, just do witchy shit together class. And it was, I have so many fond memories of that class. But what happened was during the pandemic, we had to start a virtual community up. And then we started, by the time we got back to the physical space, like I was already then completely committed to maintaining the virtual. And so that was one thing that we have always constantly gotten feedback. Why can't we have more in-person Coven classes? And I'm like, because I'm one person. And so, that was something that really became obvious to me, is that these are like two different businesses now. And so I just love the virtual, and I'm staying committed to the virtual, but I'm just so happy for that. Those who in Austin who are in studio members will now have an in-person Coven class to start attending as well.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I didn't realize so many people were kind of craving that in-person Coven stuff. So I'm happy to bring more to them.
Yes.
I was going to say something else and I forgot.
So right. It'll come back. Yeah. But, I want to make sure that people understand, like, there's going to be not stagnation at the same time. This is an example of how there will be evolution. So as we're keeping the dance classes and all the instructors are so committed to continuing to serve our members and our witches and our students, and yes, and I know, and to and to work with Kelley, and so just know that is something we have so much gratitude for. We really have an amazing instructor, Coven, who just serve our babes above and beyond what perhaps you could expect in other environments or situations. They really are top notch, if you ask me. But that there's going to be growth in mystics. You're going to be continuing doing mystical readings and having, readers and coaches and guides that people can work one-on-one with, which is so exciting.
Yes. I'll share another little tidbit of magical things, I guess, that I'm hoping to accomplish. We've got our witch hut in the backyard, and we've got that little tiny backyard. I really want to turn that into some sort of witchy community garden where we can grow herbs and things for our rituals. So hopefully people, in a lot of classes, people have brought up that they're gardening and they have questions or whatever. So hopefully that can be another way for our community to kind of connect and bring in some nature, and then use the things that we're growing directly in our rituals in the studio. So
I love that so much. And I will fully admit I am a complete failure when it comes to, there was points where I really did try to do something with we have a backyard. For those who've never been to the studio, we have like a 1,200 square foot space. And then behind it, we have a backyard, and we have a witch house that's 160, I think, square foot, where we started. I had to buy that when we started doing virtual, and then return to studio because we needed a space to teach in studio classes and also continue to teach virtual. So we have this really cool witch house in the backyard. But I have a black thumb, and every time I try to grow something, it's not me. But I put that cool fence up, and it definitely has the potential to. So I love when you told me you were doing that. I was like, yes, please, because I am such a failure at making a magical witch backyard.
I used to think I had a black thumb too, until I just kept being persistent with it, and now I have so many plants. I think I'm getting better. And if this is a community effort, I think collectively we can make it flourish, and
that's true.
Bring some birds and whatever. We'll see what kind of nature shows up. So
yeah, I feel like it's very rare in the middle of the city to have a little backyard that you can work with like that. And, there was so many things that I did envision when I opened the studio, and a full transparency, like I just was pretty broke for the first few years and was like, yes, one day I will get a garden back there. Yes. And then it was like, okay, now I have to focus on virtual. And so I always have really imagined like the next person who comes in, like they're going to be able to do so much more with this physical space than I ever did. So kudos for you for having that vision.
And you've done so much with the space already, though. I mean, it is such a vibe. You walk in and you feel like you're transported into this magical building, and I just freaking love it.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I do. I think I did okay on the interior. The exterior, it's definitely needs some loving. So that's going to be Kelley. So y'all look forward to that, and look forward to, we've talked about there's going to be workshops. There's still going to be weekend immersions. There's so much to look forward to that, like, it's just going to keep growing and evolving, but always with that intention to serve witchy minded individuals interested in magic and interested in the dark feminine.
Yes. Interested in connecting to yourself. I really just want to honor everything that you have built, everything that you have helped all of us develop within ourselves. I've watched so many people come through the studio who just find a sense of empowerment, find a sense of connection to themselves in a way that they haven't been able to access maybe ever. And it's just such a beautiful thing. And I can't wait to just keep that going,
And honestly, to step into, Kelley, I want to give you a lot of credit and set you up also with, the acknowledgement that you are going to be stepping up into a higher role, from when the student becomes the teacher. And
oh God,
you're ready for it. You absolutely are. And Kelley expressed in we have these things called Esoerotic witchcraft weekends. In fact, we have our last one in the end of June, if anybody would like to join, but it's summer solstice weekend. But you had at a past one expressed you really wanted to one day lead a witchy community. And it's so funny when I announced because our members already know that you're stepping in because we had a private meeting, but a number of them said, I remember when Kelley said that's what she dreamed of one day. And we were like, yeah, man, your magic comes to you in really weird ways when you show up and you do the work. And so, really handing this over to you, I know you are ready to step into this greater space as a guide and a leader, and just know that our entire coven is cheering for you and is supporting you, and it's a beautiful community to step into where they're gonna hold space for you and gonna honor you and respect you, and because we already know that you're gonna give that respect back. So
thank you so much for saying that. That means so much to me. I mean, and it's so special that people even remembered that I set that intention like a year ago. I mean, I was showing you my notes from that weekend, and it's just so cool to watch how our magic manifests, in ways that we I could never have imagined. I've been dreaming about this for years, and like, trying to figure out where I would build a community, because and I'm like, well, it needs to be like Minx and Muse, but I can't compete with Minx and Muse. Like, that's not what I want to do. So like, is it going to be in Austin? Like, I don't know. I thought I was going to have to move away. So who freaking knew? I would never have imagined that I just get to continue nurturing the community I already love so much.
Well, I am just like so beyond grateful that you accept it and that you're willing to step into this. And I think your vision is beautiful. I think that you really understand who we serve and that you're standing in that power of it doesn't matter what external expectations are going to be placed upon you, because I promise you, people will say, well, why don't you do this? Or we should do this, or I want to do this. And like what we've always honored at Minx and Muse is we don't have to do things like other people do. And I hope that the studio inspires other people in their life to know that there's value in the dark feminine and there's value in showing up as a creatrix in your life in a way that is authentic and different from what you see out there. Like, what? Sensual dance and witchcraft? How is that a business? What is a business? And
it's a lifestyle, Crimson.
It's a lifestyle, baby. And I feel like 6.5 years in, we're just getting started, and it's such an honor to pass on the torch and to know that it's to someone who gets it.
Yeah, that means a lot to me. I mean, I can't even express how honored I am to have this role. Even in the past year, I've had huge changes in my life and my spiritual path. And I've come to learn that, a big part of my role in this life is to hold space for people and to kind of hold vigil for those who are going through a journey, who are at a crossroads and are needing some sort of connection. So I couldn't think of a better way to do that than to do this for people who already, like, I'm so connected to, and new people that are finding their way to us. So
yes, if you haven't joined us, if you're in the Austin area, come join us. Come check out Verspertine. And we didn't even say it's going to become Verspertine July 1st. So,
oh yes. Still got to get that branding done. Oh my God.
Listen, all I'm going to say is everyone have freaking grace for us. Okay. I've never sold a business before. Kelley's never bought a business before. We're trying to figure out all of this with technology, and all of our members know we already told them we're going to be reaching out to each of them individually. We're going to be doing a new founding Verspertine member drive in June to take advantage of some membership specials. We're still doing our showcase in the summer, Best Damn Showcase, that I think you can experience as an audience member or as a participant. So that's our member showcase happening this summer. So if you need a little more motivation to become a member, you get to be a part of that. But like, so much cool shit to come. But thank you for the grace that y'all are going to be granting us as we're like trying to like figure it all out. But we're going to try to make this as seamless as possible.
Doing our best.
We're doing our damn best. Yeah. And can you ask more of anyone?
I also just want to say too that, like, so many of our members love the multiverse, and including me. Like, I want to continue being a member of the multiverse. I can't lose you. I can't lose that, So it's very important to me that we help our existing members find a way to be able to have both, through whatever kind of special we come up with, because I don't want people to have to choose. I want everyone to have it all.
Yes.
So we are doing our best for everyone. Just want that to be clear.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up, because for 4 years now, people have gotten both. They've basically gotten a virtual studio and an in-studio, an in-person studio and a virtual studio for one price. And just the logistics is I'm basically creating a completely virtual studio. You have to manage a complete physical studio, and it's just they are going to be separate entities. However, we've already talked about staying like homey studios in a way. So if you're a Multiverse member, you'll get discounts on classes at Verspertine. If you're a Verspertine member, you'll get discounts on becoming a member of Multiverse. So know that and for those who are existing members and already in it, you get the homey hookup. So we're going to do our damn best to like respect the value of what we're offering, but also make it as accessible as we can.
Yeah. I like that homey hookup. That's the term I've been trying to think of.
Yes. So that's kind of like the explanation of our relationship, of how the turnover is going to look, what people can expect. And I just want to ask, is there anything else that you want to share, even just about your personal journey, that's going to make people feel like they feel more understanding of your backstory?
Yeah, that's a great question because I realized I didn't even really introduce myself.
Yeah,
I
so
just started
let's.
talking.
Well, I'm the host. I should have asked, but then I got so excited. So this is a failure on my part, not yours. So let's. But we don't do things the way that everyone expects us to.
That's right.
So
That's
we
right.
do it our own damn way. So let's hear it.
Yeah, hello, I'm Kelley. I have been a member at Minx for 2.5 years. I've been in Austin about 9 years now. Um, Libra Sun, Sag Moon, Aquarius Rising. I don't know what else to say now that I told you I needed to introduce myself. So let's see, things that are important about my journey, especially like transformation wise. Just, I think a lot of people can relate to this story, even if they don't realize it yet. I've seen so many people come through with similar experiences where, my marriage was really struggling. I was questioning or just confused about my sexuality. I was like, I think I'm asexual. Um, this is a challenge in my relationship. I've got to do something to connect to my body because it's just getting out of hand. I was getting really sick, you know, um, and I just needed some peace also. So just honoring myself and continuing to show up, whether that was in a virtual class or an in studio class, was the first step. And a lot of times I felt like I was making no progress. A few months in, I was like, this is great, but I feel like I need like more help. Like I need extra help. And that's what I asked in our group. Like, does anyone know like a therapist that specializes like, sexual problems? And you were like, Kate Tompkins. And I was like, okay, let me give Kate a try. We instantly connected. She is one of my closest friends now, but she has been an absolute anchor and foundational person in like me connecting to my body. Sexual embodiment and empowerment has been hugely transformational for me. And it's been an honor too to just kind of have the voice in our group discussions as an asexual person, as someone who identifies as like demisexual or just has kind of a different perspective than probably the majority of folks there, or maybe they don't know, maybe they're questioning too. Okay, I guess I will stop talking now because that appears to be the end of the thought.
This is Kelley's first podcast, and I just want you to know you're doing amazing. But I love that you shared that story. Kate is you people may know her. She's an instructor at the studio, wonderful one-on-one guide. And that's something that we are, with Mystics, we're bringing in more one-on-ones, like to people. If people need that kind of one-on-one support, we've been talking about bringing in support like that, so that people can do the group classes along with some more one-on-one, more therapeutic type of or coaching experience. Guidance, yeah, which is awesome. And I love that you brought up, the idea that you don't have what you may perceive as a very kind of typical relation with sexuality. And what I love is that you identify as an esoerotic witch, and this is why esoeroticism is so powerful, because it's accessing sexual energy outside of intercourse, and you are still a sexual human despite how you choose to engage with others with your sexuality.
Yeah, I mean, that has really been one of the most powerful lessons I've learned from you and from esoeroticism is that I do have erotic sexual energy that I can harness for, creating whatever I want in my life. And, I can move my body in ways that feel sensual or whatever to me. And that might look really different from anybody else in the room. And that's great. that means I'm doing it right, you know? So for anyone else who's nervous, you're doing it right. Okay. Like just don't even question. Just trust your body, trust yourself. And it works. I love it.
Yeah, it's all about authenticity and authenticity and
Mhm.
honoring your truths and desires and your expression. And I'm really excited to grow esoeroticism because I think there is so many people who are turned away from the idea of sexuality because of whether it's trauma
Mhm.
with sexuality in the past, or because it just seems like something that they've only considered with another person. They've only considered it through intercourse, or they've had negative experiences and then feel like that's not for me.
Yeah.
But it's our person, that's the dark feminine, that's our power, that's like, ooh, that is from the womb, the void, that is where all creation comes from. And turns out it is something that can be completely separated. And I know that there's like
Mhm.
obviously a lot of tantric ideas around this concept, so it's not like, oh, no one's ever conceived of sexual energy outside of intercourse before. But I like what we do is that we actually practice it um in a way that it's like a solitary internal practice within a community and a group of others, but in a very non-intercourse way, using our dance and our movements and even our witchcraft and our magic. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of my favorite things that we do at the studio when we have like witches enchantment or some sort of like group ritual where we are casting a spell, we are doing magic, but each of us is contributing and having our own personal experience within that. And it just elevates everyone and amplifies everyone's magic. And it's, oh, I love when we do that. I'm really going to miss your like ceremonial witchcraft skills and expertise. So we
thank
might
you
have to
for
bring
saying
you back for guest spots.
absolutely. Absolutely. You can't just kick me out. Damn it.
Good.
Oh, thank you for saying that. And Kelley, thank you honestly for being so vulnerable and so open and sharing. And, I just want to be very clear when I started, we opened in 2017. We weren't doing podcasts. I wasn't doing weekly videos. I wasn't doing anything that was like putting my voice out there until like a few 2 or 3 years in. And so like the fact that you're coming in and just like using your voice and showing up and sharing your story this much in the beginning is just even beyond where I was. So yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, thank you. It doesn't feel like the beginning. That's why I'm able to
Uh,
speak to this so much because I mean, yeah, I would probably not have wanted to show my face or my name in the past. And having this connected to kind of my public persona online is it's a big step.
it
And so
takes
much of that is empowered by all of the work that I have done and experienced through our community. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about it, it's my life.
well, we love you, and like we're here to support you as you are moving through that, like, stepping into like that bigger role and being seen. But this is challenges we all have, whether it's in our career or in our relationships, or it is, online, whatever. So, they're all interconnected. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, that's the biggest thing is that, before we go kind of into our wrap up questions, is like I've received a lot of feedback since I announced, the turnover. And one of the repeating things that just makes my heart explode in a good way every time is that when people say, it's not just what happened in the studio, it's how all of a sudden I showed up different in relationships and in my job and in what I desired and felt empowered to pursue in my life. That's a testament to this work. Not that like I can do a really awesome pirouette. Like, yeah, get your awesome pirouette. Or like I know the magical association of using a bay leaf. Like, congratulations, that's awesome. These are all tools, but all of this work that we do is meant to enhance your life, whether it's like you're leaving a toxic relationship. You're asking for more within your work. You're making really scary but empowered risks in how you want to like maybe move to a different city, or you want to express in your physical appearance or your sexuality, whatever. And so this work is meant to impact your outside life, but you have to start internally. And this is why embodiment is such a key element of what we do, because when you feel it and you experience in your body within the work that we do here, it's going to become your default energy. It's going to be your nervous system regulation so that you can then wield that elsewhere. And so,
absolutely.
so you're a testament to it. So thank you.
Yeah. I mean, that is the magic. You said that so well. And it's just, I mean, yeah, you're describing my life right now. I never would have expected that this weekend I did a tarot reading because I was all nervous, and it was like, get out of your head, Kelley, get into your body. And I did a dance party in my living room. Like, surprise, everyone, Kelley had a dance party.
It's the new Kelley. I love it. So, Kelley, so grateful for you. And the last thing I'm going to tease, I keep saying that, but just because if anyone is wondering, we're going to have, we'll have more talks moving forward about just like, also we're going to have support. Kelley's going to have support around the dance and the business stuff and all of that, so that like, maybe Kelley isn't like the advanced pole dancer, but she's not going to just be flying on her own. We have support staff coming in and positions being created and coaching to be had, where it's like, don't worry about it, y'all. So we got this shit on lock.
Yeah. Don't worry at all.
Don't worry at all. We got you. All right. So I know I felt like this was part inspiration and part logistics, because I know where people are having these questions. So
yeah.
All right. Well, let's move into the wrap-up questions that we ask all of our guests. So first one, what is your personal mantra or source of daily inspiration?
Okay, can I have two?
You can.
I have two.
Yes, we hate rules around here.
The first one, surprise, surprise, something I learned at the studio. I remember the first time I heard this in class, and I think I thanked you because it's so powerful for me. My body, my pleasure, my power, my magic. I say it all the time. It is a constant reminder, especially when I'm feeling a little triggered or just nervous or down. It's been such a positive force in my life. And the second one is one that I just picked up at Kat's I Love My Life workshop a couple weeks ago. Everything works out for me even better than I could have expected.
Even better. Yeah. I love that. Those are like two of mine as well. So that's so freaking cool. I love it. All right. And then what is your favorite sensuous indulgence?
Okay. This probably is going to come as a surprise to no one who's ever been in class with me. That would be sliding into bed at the end of the night and just relaxing, letting my body fully relax and not have to do anything, or think about anything. I have a really comfortable bed. Like, it's the best bed ever. I even have a shirt that says, I'm excited to go to bed. Like, it is just such a treat every day.
I love it. And that is so perfect. We're in May 2024. Our studio archetype is the luxurious Venusian. And we've really had all these great conversations about what is like dark feminine luxury, what is Venusian luxury. And it's like time, stillness, sensuous pleasure, things like that. And I feel like that totally qualifies, like just feeling textures in your bed and having that stillness and that time to just kind of like be with yourself for a moment without having to feel like you have to do. So that feels pretty
and of course, like, good smelling, like, body oils. I got my little snacks by the bed, my gummy candies. The full Libra Venusian like lifestyle. Yeah.
Yes.
My cat, on the bed next to me.
Yes.
Yes.
And for those who don't know, Kelley has a line of candles and soaps called Skelly Cat. So I'm assuming you have some amazing Skelly Cat candles, and I'm really looking forward to see how you transform our studio shop into having like some really cool candles and soaps and balms and all the things.
Yes, I have lots of ideas. I can't wait.
So cool. And then what does living fully in your power as a witch look like to you?
To me, that looks like just waking up every day and honoring myself, honoring my body, honoring my spirit, honoring what I need that day, even if that means that, the chores don't get done as quickly as I want them to. That means taking time to make sure that I like honor my cat and spend time with her because I value her and I love her and I want her to have like ever since I've been dreaming of this like witch village or this community that I want to create or just nurture. I tell her every day like she's part of my vision of the future. Live our magical life. We're doing it every day, and like every little thing, everything I do, I try to infuse magic. I try to see the magic and the beauty throughout everything, everywhere I look, everything I hear, everything I feel. It's just infused into my life, and it's just empowering, to live your authentic truth and honor that.
I love that. And recognizing that magic isn't a compartmentalized part of our life that we relegate to the new moon and the full moon and certain ceremonies, that you live magic. Everything is magic. And in fact, I love that you've already been connecting to the land spirits of the studio, and you've already like made contact and started communicating with a bunch of the spirits within the space. And so know that is like, there's a lot of magic already cast within the space, and we've already had that talk. You're like, what have you done? I was like, yeah. So we've been.
I wasn't questioning. I just
no, but you were like, so what am I coming into? Like, what do I need to maintain? What kind of like protection am I maintaining? And because I have protection spells on the studio, and you want to maintain that protective energy, but also you're like, and also I've connected with this spirit and this spirit. I love it. And so know that like the energy is also a huge part of our studio, and that Kelley understands that and is going to be coming in and also tending to it and making sure that it's supportive. So you're magic.
Absolutely.
You're so damn magical. And I'm just so like gushy and so grateful for you. And I just want everyone to know that like, I'm not disappearing. Kelley and I are going to be continuing to work together through the transformation and the turnover, and that, great things are to come. And just so grateful for you, Kelley. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yes. And I'm looking forward to a Vespertine road trip to the Esoerotic temple.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's happening.
I can't wait.
I love it. Well, Kelley, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for listening in and for coming along on this journey and caring. It is just such an honor, and we love you. And Kelley, I'm looking forward to so much magic.
Me too.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me for the Minx and Muse podcast. You can find show notes and learn more about the studio at www.minxandmuse.com. As a reminder, it is our birthright to transform, expand, and safely exist as sensual, conscious, and empowered creatures. I'll see you next time.